Hello and welcome. My name is Aaron. I am the developer of Engineer Alpha, and today we are going to be talking about some new features that will be coming in update 0.7. Last time I talked about freight containers, and that this month would hopefully be about trains. Unfortunately, did not happen. Trains will not be coming in version 0.7. The reason for that is largely because as I was developing trains, and I did get partway there, as you can see with the train track on the ground, that there was some problems with the gameplay of trains. That trains were an unnecessary addition to the game at present that was not really called for and no one would use. Trains are awesome, and I do want to add them to the game eventually, but they will require some additional gameplay elements to be present in the game before they come in to make sure that they are something that is needed and you will use. That being said, I did not want to deprive you, the players, of features. So I looked for features that I had started but not finished that I could add to the game that would be as cool as trains but more useful. So, to that end, I added in tubes. Tubes I previewed a long time ago, and you probably forgot about them, but tubes are the late game way of moving items around the factory that is programmable logistics. Tubes are intended to be an upgraded form of conveyors that are fully three-dimensional and allow you to create things like requests. Tubes are meant to feel overpowered and should replace conveyors in most situations. Items in tubes have no collision and move at a constant speed, regardless of whether they're moving up or down, left or right. It's all the same to tubes. Tubes come in 6 varieties: the standard tube, the junction, and 4 connectors for getting items into and out of inventories. First is the standard Magnetube, which functions just like a shaft or pipes in their building when you build them. They are completely bi-directional and do not care which direction you build them in, unlike shafts or pipes, and items can move in both directions along them at a time. They are limited to a single connection at each end. So if you want to build a Magnetube system that is more than a point-to-point system, you will need to use junctions. Junctions are 1x1 blocks that have no placement requirements in terms of foundation, so you can place them anywhere. And they allow up to 6 Magnetubes to be connected together and will route items to the destination that they need to get to when items get to a junction. They can, of course, be chained together, creating larger networks and more complex routings that items will follow through the system. The 4 types of connectors for connecting Magnetubes to inventory are sinks, extractors, requesters, and providers. Hopefully, the colors that you see are familiar. That is very intentional. And if you've played Factorio, you hopefully have a guess about what they do. The first kind we will talk about is the sink. So the sink serves as a destination for items that are already in the network. You can choose up to 10 items that you would like a sync to accept, and anytime that item is in the network, it will attempt to route that item to a sync that has that item chosen. You can also select default route as an option for a sync. Choosing default route will cause the sync to be a destination of lowest priority, and thus any items that do not have any other destination will go to a default route. The second type is the extractor. The extractor works by pulling items in the connected inventory into the network. Currently, they function at a rate of 10 items per second, which is more than double the fastest conveyor, and will only pull items out of the connected inventory should there be a valid destination in the network. As you can see, if we disable our stone, even though there's some in the chest, they would have no destination because this sync is not the default route and does not accept stone, so nothing can be extracted. Next, we have the requester magnetube. The requester lets you keep a number of items that you would like to keep stocked in the connected inventory. You can choose up to 5 items to request, and of course have access to the full list of items in the game as well as a quantity slider. If you connect your Magnetube to a crafter that has a recipe selected in it, pressing the import request button will get the items needed for that craft and automatically choose double the required quantity for a single craft, just as a quick option to allow you to quickly make requests to your crafters. Finally, we have the provider, which works in pair with the requester. It makes the entire contents of the inventory that it's connected to available to the Magnetube network should something request it. So if we take all this stone out, that requester now has requests that can be filled. The provider fills them, and 44 stone goes back into the chest. So here we have a fairly simple Magnetube network that I built for testing purposes. As you can see, stone comes in here, and it has several requesters that provide 2 ore crushers. The stone is requested and provided should the ore crushers finish a craft. Should there be extra, it goes over here, I believe, as a requested item and will be put into... Oh, it's full. That's why it's not going. So we can empty that out, and items will flow into there should there be space. And items requesters are a higher priority than sinks should an item be extracted into the inventory. This, if when ore crushers make their output of crushed copper and iron ore, it gets routed over here to the furnaces, 1 for copper, 1 for iron, that are stocked with coal from a chest over here, and smelted into ingots, which are then outputted into the chest here. This all functions as one single network and could easily be expanded upon. This network is obviously very messy and was not designed to be a clean system. I think that covers everything that needs to be covered for this preview of Magnetubes. They will be coming in version 0.7 and will be available just after the player has researched steel. They currently have no cost in terms of their energy requirements. This will likely change with electricity when that gets added at some point in the future. But for now, they're still free, just like conveyors. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have questions or comments, please feel free to post